We are now 5 wide. Presented by Quick Trip's quality gasoline guarantee. It's just another way Quick Trip has you covered.
Let's go indeed. 9 to noon, ready to go. Billy, Coon, Armin in the house. Good morning, boys. How we doing? I need your help today. I need listeners' help as well.
Okay.
So, as you can see in my hands here, I have ordered from the good folks at Amazon.com a smattering of little foam footballs.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 different kinds of foam footballs and one that you can actually inflate.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Know how we got a home game coming up against the Vikings a week from Sunday. We're looking forward to being back at Lambeau. It seems like it's been
Good
forever,
God.
right?
2 games
Hasn't it,
in 4
John?
days, and everything else was just bye.
You wait
Bye.
a month to get back on up there.
Last time we were up at the trailer at the Resch Center, you should come by and see us when we're there. We had a little game, Josh, where it was throw a football into a garbage
Yep.
can, right?
Yep. Very simple game.
Simple game, fun game. People were lining up to play.
True.
Like we really didn't have any prizes per se, but they're like, "I'll try it. Well, we try throwing it in
Quick Trip gift cards.
Oh.
You just didn't know how much money was on them.
Yeah, it was the Quick
Yes.
Trip
Yep.
gift
Yes.
card roulette.
You
One of
guys
those
are doing all
double
that?
zeros that I got on that Quick Trip gift card roulette. Yeah, sweet.
You got a zero card?
I got a double zero. I should.
Oh.
I walked on up to the cash register. I'm like, I really hate to say, I don't know how much is on here. She goes, yeah, there's nothing on
It's because
here.
it's not.
Oh.
Because you got nothing on
That's
there.
rough.
That was one of the ones I gave you? Did I
Yes,
give
but
you
it was all good. It was a hilarious,
Shocker.
hilarious
I owe
situation.
you.
Don't
I owe
worry
you.
about it.
I owe you. I owe you.
So
Don't
you don't
worry
know him
about
anything.
it.
That's
Don't
the
worry
game.
about
He
it.
played
That's
the game.
Yeah, that's
what
the
he
game.
won.
Shocker.
No,
You should
no,
get a
no, no, no.
minimum.
The game is
No.
the game. I
No.
shouldn't.
No.
I'm usually very good to throw away the expired card.
Zabe out here giving away dummy audibles.
Why are you
dummy
trying
gift
to go
cards.
soft and ruin the whole bit? The whole point is that you make it for the chance to maybe get something.
Well, Josh is angry. Listen to him.
That was the fun of
Josh must have got a couple of zeros before.
No, he wants others.
reimbursed.
He wants the game to have the integrity that it
it.
should.
Right. Thank you, Armin.
I kind of like this.
well-
you could pull a $100 gift card. You could pull
Who
a
knows?
$0
Get a
gift
zero.
card.
Yeah. It's like
You don't
both
Actually,
apps.
$20 is the maximum.
Oh,
amount.
good God. $20.
Oh, that's all right. It's
All you gotta do is
Halloween.
put
$20
football in a
still
can,
$20.
Coon. It's not
I was
hard.
just
Yeah,
gonna say.
that's a great deal, John. What do you?
Oh, it is if you have, 10 20s and 5 zeros. But if you have 120 and 20 zeros, that's kind of lame.
Yeah, it can't be like the stack of pull tabs where there's
No,
one
but-
grand
Yeah,
prize and a bunch of
that's
goose
the
eggs.
beauty of the game is that it wasn't actually like he planned it out to have one winner and then 19 losers. It's just that he had a bunch of gift cards, couldn't remember which ones he used to
Which
buy
ones I've
himself.
used
I think it's hilarious.
partially.
And so some had
everything else.
$7.47.
Nothing
Some
like
had
used
9.
prizes
Right.
being thrown out as prizes.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Hey.
It's perfect.
Classic Steve. Returning
Okay.
gift cards that he's already used.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen, the gift card. Here's why they're not hundos. Okay, Kuhn. I know you're wondering why are they only $20 ones. As part of my endorsement for Quick Trip, by the way, Quick Trip, your takeaway of the day is waiting for you. If you're stuck for food, lunch, or dinner, yourself or your family, Quick Trip, they've got you covered. Always freshly prepared, never frozen meals are delicious. Pick them up right there by the checkout counter.
Wow,
Part of
sorry.
my endorsement was trade, and so therefore I took it in gift cards. And they started sending me hundreds, and I said, send me 20s so I can flip them out as thank yous and as prizes.
It's very
if you-
kind and generous, actually.
Of them.
You can flip
Except for when
hundreds
I
out
give-
as thank yous.
Except for,
yeah.
well, that's too much. Except for when I give Billy a zero, which I never intended. Had you gotten $1.63, I would have said, "Hey, that's the game."
That's
man.
the game, man.
Good
That's
luck
the game.
next time.
Man, I hate that.
Zeros, I don't
Choice.
feel right about.
You got a
I don't
zero.
feel right
that's
about
on you,
zeros.
pal.
Just like I don't feel right about some casinos now, Billy, having triple green zero.
Well, don't play those
000. Yep.
Wheel. I can't believe people are
That's
out there
right.
playing those wheels
You're
for
damn right,
000
Armin.
roulette.
Billy,
But of
does
course-
that pay out higher
No.
No.
with
no.
a 000? So you don't get one single more odd on the numbers?
No, you don't actually. But
Oh,
if you,
okay.
and especially then if you split the zeros, you're only getting 11 to 1 instead of 18 to 1, which is one of my favorite bets on the roulette wheel is splitting the zeros.
I'm shocked to hear that, Billy. You got another
Billy
favorite
is
bet.
the wheel man.
do
Billy
you like?
loves roulette.
Love
Yeah.
roulette.
Well, yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It's an outrage because, like you said, Armin. Well, who don't play that game?
I know.
The
It's
problem is, you know what the problem is?
that's all they
Some
have.
people will.
Oh,
Mhm.
Some people will. So if there's enough sheep that go meh and they walk in and they play the game, then the casino will be encouraged to add a second table like that.
Yep.
Sure, because
And
we're all there to
keep
have fun.
shifting
Right.
the rules away from a fair contest.
The one that was actually the worst was when I was down in New Orleans after Butchie left early for the Final Four a couple of years ago. I
You
got
left early.
kind of pushed out of one area because I was taking a picture, trying to take a selfie with Roy Williams while he was playing craps. So I got pushed on out of one area and I had to go over to the other table. $100 minimum, 000 roulette. I'm like, man, that's like
Oh
Alfredo sauce.
my
That's too rich for my blood. I'm going to be up out of here really, really quick after I doubled on up and then walked on out.
But they're right that they know people will play it. That's why a lot of places will keep 4 tables empty and have one of 25 minimum or 50 minimum, knowing that they can make more money and then putting out 4 tables of $5 minimum, right?
They know Josh is walking in there to be a big spender at some
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
Armin,
it's worse.
2083
minimum. Armin, it's worse than the minimums. It's the rules are getting worse and worse.
I know.
The edge,
The
of the
edges,
house is
they're-
getting greater and
They're
greater.
pushing the edge back.
It's no different than restaurants that are now pushing supply chain fees or credit card fees. You use a credit card, they're dinging you for a credit card. This is like top end
New
restaurant.
territory.
This is a top end
Right.
restaurant. You mean to tell me I got to come in with cash at a top end restaurant? I mean, come
And
on,
how-
I
how
can't pay with
yeah.
a card. And yet, if you say, well, no, I'm just not going to go there anymore. Well, everybody else still is, and they're still going to pay these ridiculous fees. And the steak is already $70. And well, here, what's another $7 in a supply chain fee? A supply chain.
The credit
when-
card surcharge. Sorry,
And
go
when
ahead,
did
Bill.
you think that was going to get turned about, right? Because if you just try to buy something for $4.18 with cash, they look at you like,
What's this?
What
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
this?
Are you okay?
But if I
The
got to
worst-
pay a $75 steak, yeah, we're going to need that in green.
Yeah.
The worst part is the add the tip to just the normal things now that are going out there. It's like, oh, you roll through Chipotle. I'm taking it to go. Add a tip.
All right.
No, I'm not adding a tip.
They
This
go.
is just normal.
Right, they go.
That's the word. Yeah.
All right, this is going to ask you a question. Right.
Yes,
That's my favorite
yes,
one.
yes, quick
You're gonna
question.
ask me a question. What's the question? Why don't you ask me the question? You're
Yeah.
gonna let,
He's gonna ask you a
let the tip
question.
kiosk, the little kiosk, do the dirty work for you.
That's when you turn it right
They
back and
do.
say, and here's your answer.
No, why don't you ask
That's
me
what
the
you do.
question? I want you to look me in the eye and tell me if you think you're worthy of this extra tip.
Armin,
You tell me the
I
question.
promise you on
I'm the
everything.
captain
You have
now.
never
You
done
tell
that.
me.
I promise on everything. You have never gotten that outraged
Of course
and
I
turned
haven't.
around and said anything.
Oh, you're absolutely right,
Yeah,
Josh.
you
No.
do like everyone else,
But
and you
this
go,
is a
oh,
great-
okay.
He saves his
Oh,
outrage. Saves his outrage for these therapy sessions. right
Oh,
here
that's
between
true.
us.
Okay,
And Armin, you're spot on.
I'm
That's
not
the
out there
worst.
because I'm not out there trying to pick fights with people in public. To be
But
honest.
the worst part of it is they ask you for the tip before they give you the service.
Mhm.
You're
That's
like,
good.
I don't know what to tip you because you didn't give me the service. And if I give you 15% and not 22%, you might give me crap service. If I give you 22% and you give me crap service,
What's
then I
the incentive?
overpaid. So how
Right.
the hell do I know
What's the
what I'm
incentive?
supposed to tip you before you serve me?
So let's talk about tipping culture. We think it's out of control because our buddy Trey's been on this for a long time about tipping culture.
Trey
He-
Crosby?
Yeah, he talks about it on his show. And he tweets about it all the time. Tipping culture's out of
He
control.
broke the news yesterday on the dysfunction going
did.
on within the Bucks organization.
And he
Give
asked
him
about-
props for that.
Oh,
And
there
he-
was dysfunction.
First one on it.
Yeah, there was.
Trey
Butch.
Oh,
Crosby.
shocking.
And he wanted 2 or 3 tweets. He
Oh,
asked
you
for
mean
Well, it
that's
every
what
one.
happened?
well, it happens all the time, so it's not that shocking.
But you start talking about it so we can
Oh,
clear
there
up
we
here.
go.
Butch, go off, Butch.
Just saying, but the basketball guy doesn't know. Let the football guy and the radio guy tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah,
That's
here we go.
fine. That's fine. The basketball guy didn't know what was going on. You
Trey's
guys
not
know.
on
Oh,
five
you
wide,
didn't-
otherwise
you
we
didn't-
break,
would've.
you didn't break
Come on.
anything. You said, "Oh, this sounds funny." It
He's
happens
saying,
all the time.
And
Well,
it does.
Does it sound funny or
Most
does it
guys
happen all the
Most
time?
guys don't walk away, but you guys know it's
More
all good.
embarrassing, Butchie.
I
More
consider you
embarrassing,
more the
Butchie.
tall guy than the
65-year-old
basketball
man that can't fall into rank, or Adrian Griffin having to be the boss of the house. What's more embarrassing?
I don't think either is embarrassing. I
Hmm.
really
The
don't.
fact
I think
that two-
Adrian Griffin standing his ground is really good. As a head coach, you want it your way. You got to know who you are. He says, this is what's going on. I don't want you to talk to the players. I said, get over here. We're talking about something right now. I want you here. Hey, I'm for that. As far as Terry Stotts walking away, I'd rather have him walk away now than halfway through the season if he knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question. I'd much rather have him walk away now too. But isn't it kind of sad that 2 grown men making millions of dollars working with a team that's favored to win the NBA championship can't figure it out before a regular season game starts? That's kind of sad.
You know this, though, John.
It's
How much
disappointing.
egos is the deal? Like both have egos. Both say my ego's bigger than yours. and that's professional sports. It's one
Yeah.
it's one of the
No, I
cons
don't.
of it.
But it's not.
Well, in the
it's,
NBA,
it's
it is.
sad.
If
But it's
if
sad.
Stotts
I
has
agree.
that
I
much
don't
of an
disagree with
ego,
that.
I don't disagree with that.
all right. If Stotts has that much of an ego, he's got to check himself. He was out of the game for 2
Yeah.
years.
Mhm.
Don't
And he's
disagree
not-
with there
This is
either.
not
So,
his
like,
time. So you fall in line. Fall in line.
Stotts has had a pretty good career. He's built up a lot of equity in this league to not get yelled at
Yeah.
by a first-year head coach.
So
I
what
can-
gets swept once in the Western Conference Finals?
Fair enough. He never had great playoff success, but he has been a really good guy, coach in this league for a long time.
Where's Giannis in all this?
Well, he was apparently one of the guys that Terry Stotts was going to go talk to. He was going to go
Yeah.
talk to the
Well,
two best players.
I want to know what he thinks about this. Does he?
That's-
Did Adrian Griffin talk to him and say, "Hey, did Giannis talk to Adrian Griffin and say we need to calm this down? A
Right.
bit. We all need to get together here because
Yeah.
we're 4 days before the start of a season, and you two old men can't figure it out. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Giannis
Figure
is
it
trying
out. I'm
figure
here to
the thing-
win.
Giannis is trying to figure out what's going on with his beds in Athens. Though.
Lots
He's
of-
trying to get that
No, he
94
got
K
that
back
figured out.
first.
I just think like Marv Levy never won a Super Bowl, but if Marv Levy was a consultant or an assistant and started getting yelled at by some young young head coach, I don't know. I
Do
go
not
back.
compare Terry Stotts to
All right,
Marv
fine.
Levy.
No, but
fine.
here's the
You're right.
difference.
Hall
too.
of
Like-
Fame
like-
coach to veteran coach.
But this is
Th-
one thing we haven't talked about, and it's really big. Like, who ended up hiring Terry Stotts? It was the Bucks front office.
That's
there was
the biggest
never-
problem.
That was the, and they had never worked together before.
Yeah, that was a kind
You're
of a
trying
force
to force. This is an arranged marriage.
Right, I get it.
Right?
I
Like,
get
this
it.
is what it was.
And what's worse is that Griffin is Giannis's guy, and Stotts was supposedly Dame's guy. So this is off to a bad start because Stotts was brought in not by Griffin to be the guy for the other star, and now the two have already had a falling out, and one coach is left. It's not good, but again, it's the NBA. It's a players' league. We still have Giannis and Dame suck on these buckets.
And
We're gonna
Chris.
be fine.
yeah, I still
And
don't,
Chris,
and I don't
And
necessarily,
Brooke.
but I don't think that Stotts was brought in
He was
for Dame's guy because I still don't believe when that acquisition was made, they still thought that Dame was even a possibility. Now,
It's true. Probably not.
I would
yeah.
say-
Oh,
not,
I
in- not
see.
in
Yeah,
June
'cause he
they
was-
did.
Yeah, not in June they
because
didn't.
Stotts was brought in June, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but I will say I would have preferred this news happen a week ago before Jeff Van Gundy went and was a senior assistant with the Boston Celtics, because bring somebody else in who's a veteran head coach that can at least be on the bench with a first-year head coach, because we already saw the struggles Joe Mazzulla had last year
Maybe,
without a veteran presence.
But how do we know any veteran head coach can be on the bench?
If
We
Adrian
don't.
doesn't want him.
right
Right.
now, he's batting 1,000 at kicking veteran head coaches right off the bench
So
because he's
and that's
too
where
rough
you're
and
right,
tough.
John.
So
Like,
Adrian-
John, no, you're right on that. Like, that is an issue when you look at that. Like,
So then
is he
isn't this a
willing to
Griffin
open
problem?
Well,
Huh?
Adrian has to want his
If it's
guy
a Griffin
in.
problem, then that
What do you
seems
mean
like that's a
Griffin
Bucks
problem?
problem.
Could
If
be a
you
Griffin
can't
solution.
to what? To not being able to work with any assistant coach that
Not
has
if they're
any
not on board.
validity in the league?
Who
Well,
are we
who's-
behind, Griffin or the other assistant coaches? I'm behind Griffin. It's his chance, his team. I'm going to give him the full run of
Absolutely.
Mhm.
the team.
I think the
Fall
point
in
is
line.
the point is he never hired, like you said, he never hired Stotts. So Griffin would probably be okay with the veteran guy, but it's got to be a guy he wants to
One of
bring
his
in.
guys, yeah.
So
It's
it's
gotta
like,
be-
you know
you
what?
gotta-
If there's another voice in my huddle, I understand it this way. If there's another
Scott
voice in my huddle
Skiles.
that's not my voice, I didn't choose this voice.
And
I
it's
don't want
loyalty.
it contaminating my welfare. It's probably a bad way to think of it, but
I
that's
just-
probably what they're thinking
I
of.
just
it.
can't
Loyalty,
believe
it's
these-
trust. You're like,
I can't believe two men at this stage, head coach and number 1A, can't sit down after practice and say,
Let's figure this out, right?
dude, listen,
Yes.
we are button heads here. How do we not butt heads? Can we
Well,
not just figure? We got a
the reason they
championship
didn't-
here
for
if
the
we
bet-
don't
I
butt
know.
Right,
heads.
right.
I know. The reason they didn't sit down was because Griffin didn't know it had gotten to that stage. Stotts just pulled the ripcord and surprised
you're-
him.
yeah.
Isn't
Do you,
that- it's
do
not
you
him,
think,
though?
do you think
Yes.
Adrian Griffin is screaming
believe
out of
him at
practice
face
to get your
value.
ass over here, and he doesn't even think that there's a chance it could have gotten to that stage?
I don't know, but I do. I take Griffin at his word that he was surprised by the announcement.
and I think a lot of head
Everyone had-
coaches act like that, Zabe. Like we talked about, a lot of head coaches act like that, but not many assistant coaches are willing to just say, "I'm out, peace," because most of the
Right.
assistant
Need the job.
coaches need the job.
Need the job.
Mhm.
And
So they take the
Terry didn't.
abuse. They take the MFN because it happens a lot. Trust. I mean, like,
But on the flip
Well,
side,
anyway,
Bush, they know
Chain
their
of
pecking
screaming
order.
goes somewhere.
They also know their pecking order. Your boss is gonna yell at you. He's the head coach. I'm the assistant. But Terry's like, I'm a little different. You don't need to treat me like this. I don't need this. So maybe that's what he said. Okay,
And it
so
also could be Armin. He just likes spring better than fall, and now that it's starting to get cold, he's like, "The
I'm
hell
out
with
here, yeah.
this! I'm not getting yelled at as the leaves turn. No chance I'm staying here in the cold."
Getting me to Arizona.
very
He's-
reasonable.
he knows what Milwaukee was.
Very reasonable.
It's a juicy one for sure. I said I couldn't believe that I was opening the show on a Friday, Football Friday, with everything going on, with a God help you game for the Packers in Denver, with a first quarterback start for the Badgers down at Illinois. All the LCS is going. I said I can't believe I'm opening with an assistant coach story in the NBA, but it's actually appropriate because it's really quite juicy. It's got
It is.
layers to it.
Very
It's got
interesting.
sizzle to it. So we spent time on it. I'm sure you guys will as well. I just need some help though. I'm trying to figure out a way. You remember the old
Get back to
Super
the
Toe
footballs.
game? Yeah, the football. I want to finish on the
Get
football.
back to the
Yeah. So
football.
what's the issue here?
So instead of the game, Josh, of throwing a full-size football into the trash can where
Sure.
it bounces around wildly and can damage the trailer and hit people in the face, Marsha Brady style.
There were some problems
I
with
want
that.
to
Sure.
create a large kind of super toe, super jock field goal kicking game.
Way worse.
And I need to design.
This is
I need to-
stupid.
like college
This
game
is
day?
hamstrings.
Like-
This is
Immediately
ankles.
cut
No,
that
no.
off.
No.
Tailbone fractures.
But let's do it.
No. I want to create some wood and spring-loaded thing you step on to activate a mechanical lever that will kick these balls through uprights and a net in front of the goalpost.
Start building
Josh,
that.
you
better
better
call
waiver.
Ken Brewer.
Can you start
Yo,
building
You
that?
better call Ken.
Waiver.
Why you gotta
Need to be
why you gotta mess with perfection?
Just
Throwing
throw the ball
footballs
in the
into
trash
trash
can.
cans is perfection.
Thank you, Coon. If anything, you got a smaller ball, we get a smaller can.
Yes, just
Bang,
use
bang,
those
boom, done.
balls. Just use
Done.
the soft foam
See,
balls. No Marsha Brady.
Say, when you're going through these ideas,
Go back to
He's
Amazon.
returning- Go back to He's returning them.
Back to
That's it.
Amazon.
and this has been a live look in what it's like to work with Steve Zabin.
Wait, so you're jumping on the spring.
Yeah, I mean, when
Oh
you're
my
going
God,
through this
Armin's
idea,
in.
at what
Armin's
point?
dialed in. He
At
wants
what
it.
point do you stop and go? You know what? Maybe this is a bad idea. Spring was
For
the word me.
anybody, for anyone with a mechanical engineering background or just
No.
someone who wants to aspire to even better things, directly
Do not
email me,
email
zabe at yahoo.com.
zabe@yahoo.com.
Zabe at yahoo.com. I'll deal with it myself.
My
Boys, have a
Lord.
great show. Have a great weekend.
Be prepared.